Hey guys, it's Ian here from Perfect Performance Coaching. Right, today we're getting into your fitness routines, but the first thing that I want to do with you is take you through an assessment session that I do with all of my clients to make sure their bodies are ready for the exercises I'm about to put them through. Now I use a system known as the primal movement patterns, and these are just a series of movements consisting of the squat, the lunge, the bend, the twist, the push, the pull, and gait. And gait is just a fancy way of saying running or walking. Now, if you can perform all of these movements correctly with good form, then you're far more likely to have a successful exercise journey ahead of you. However, if you can't perform one or more of these movements, then you're far more likely to end your journey in injury, which of course isn't good for anyone. So I invite you to stay tuned, get ready as I take you through these essential movements right now. Hey guys, so today we're in my fitness studio, so we're going to be taking you through the primal movement patterns, which are all really essential movements for any exercise program. So follow through to make sure you're getting these right and you'll be good to go on your fitness journey. So the first primal movement pattern we're going to go through today is the squat. Okay, so what I want you to do is just place your feet a little bit further than hip width apart and then arms out in front to keep your balance, and all you're going to do is drop down. And you should be able to go all the way down so your hamstring and your calf muscle are touching, and then you're almost sitting on the ground. All right, and then just push straight back up from there. Just show you quickly from the side. So just coming all the way down, right the way through, pushing back up from there. Okay, so the two things you want to look out for on this one is, number one is your feet. You don't want your feet to be flattening as you go down to the squat. So as you drop down to the squat, you shouldn't have this kind of heels trying to move in and flatten as you go down into it. If that's a problem, we need to look at that. Obviously pay attention to the future videos and we'll work that out. The second part is actually your knees. So it's quite common as people drop down to the squat is to see the knees drop right in. All right, and that puts a lot of pressure through your kneecaps, and you don't want to do that. That's gonna always end up in injury. Okay, so make sure those two things aren't happening and you'll be fine, and then you're good to go with the squat. Primal movement pattern number two is going to be your lunge. So with your lunge, you want to take a nice long stride, and all you're looking for is your back knee to drop straight down, all right? Nothing else should happen, so just drop your back knee straight down. You can rest on the floor if you need to, just to position your feet. What you should see is your knee should be 90 degrees at the front, and you should have a 90-degree angle at the back. If you don't, and your knees drop forward, that's not where you want to be. You want to be back here right now, and then just literally going to push straight back up. The second point you don't want to see is as you drop down, you end up leaning forward. For most of us, we have seated jobs, so we actually get very, very tight through the hip. And as you go down to a lunge, you'll feel a lot of pressure and a lot of tightness in the back of the thigh. So if you're doing this and you're dropping down and through, that means you've got a lot of tightness here. We need to work that out before we move on to your exercise program. Primal movement pattern number three is going to be your bend. Now the bend is just showing you from the side. What you want to do is put your hips and your feet in line, and then get your lower back with a nice big arch in it, all right? So you're almost overextending initially. So this will be much more neutral as you lean forward though. So as you lean forward, keep your knees slightly soft to about 20 degrees, and you'll keep that nice arch in your back, which means your back stays straight. And then just come straight back up. What you don't want to see in this one is that as you begin to go forward, the rounding comes in. The shoulders drop forward, the head drops forward, and then you get a rounding in the lower back as well. This puts a lot of strain in the lumbar spine or the lower back, and that's not what we want right now. So just make sure you keep that neutral spine, hips pushing out, and you'll be good to go. Primal movement pattern number four is going to be the twist. Now the twist is nice and easy, but it is the first movement that generally tends to go as we age. So we want to make sure we maintain this through our lives. So just place your hands in the middle of the chest, and all you're going to do by keeping your feet still, your knees still, and your hips still is rotate through the upper back. So you're just rotating the spine. You should only be able to get to about 45 degrees, and then you come to middle, and then 45 degrees again on the other side. That's all we need right now. As long as you've got that, we can then move it into other exercises and throws and stuff like that in the future. But all we need right now is to make sure you can rotate to 45 degrees both sides so your spine is nice and healthy. Primal movement pattern number 5 is the push. So what we want to do is a push-up on this one, but you need to make sure your hand position is correct. So placing your hands out in front of you, shoulder width apart, I just want you to go slightly, literally a hand's width, wider than that. There, you'll keep your shoulders nice and healthy, and you'll be able to touch the ground with your chest nice and easily. The problem is when people come very wide, and that movement, especially when you go all the way down and touch the chest to the ground, is going to put a lot of strain through the shoulder, and you'll end up getting niggles or injuries in that area. So always shoulder width apart, slightly wider, then down, touch, and you'll remain healthy there. Primal movement pattern number 6 is going to be the pull. Now, the pull is quite difficult because you actually need an implement of some kind. So a pull-up bar is perfect, but in general, most people don't have that. So a rope or some kind of band will be really good at this point. So I'll just give you a moment to go grab one of those. Okay, so now you've got your implement. So with a rope or something like that, you're going to need to wrap it around a wall or a post or something that's fairly solid that can take your body weight, because what you're going to be doing is pulling yourself up towards the rope rather than the rope towards you, okay? But with this, I've got a nice big long band. This is a sprint band. So all I'm going to do is literally step on it so I can adjust the variation of resistance with this. And then I'm going to lean forward for doing a row movement, and we're literally just going to go from here, arms forward, and then row back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and gently back down. So nice and easy, squeeze in and down. So what you need to make sure is happening is the shoulder blades are coming together. So you should get a squeeze in the shoulder blades, middle of the back, and you should actually feel those muscles working pretty hard. So squeeze it in, and there you go. The main issue with this one is that some of us have quite bad posture, so we've got rounded posture, the pecs in the muscle are very tight, and what you're going to find is that you can't contract the muscles at the back very well. So there you're going to need to stretch out, but of course we're going to go through that in the next few videos to make sure that you have perfect form when being able to produce these movements. Primal movement pattern number 7 is gait, which is walking, running, or anything in between. So with this one, it's quite hard to demonstrate on a camera, but I'll relate it back to the squat, because you need to make sure you pay attention to the knee and ankle when you're running, of course. So with this one, make sure that as your foot comes down and strikes the ground, you're not seeing the knee drop in, you're not seeing the foot drop in as you do that. If you get somebody to look at you from behind as you're running, you may well find that your foot flicks out as you run. If you see that, yes, you've got an alignment issue there, so you need to step back from running for a little while, unwind that problem, unwind those tightnesses, strengthen the weaknesses, and then we can move on from there. But you don't want to start running if your knees are dropping and your ankles are dropping, because you will end up injured and you're going to have a bad time. Right guys, so that's it for today. So that's the 7 primal movement patterns that I've taken you through. If you can do all those movements really well and with good form, then great, you can go off and embark on your exercise programs that we'll be doing in future videos. However, if you're finding any problems with those movements, make sure you pay attention, because we're going to go through how to correct those movements real soon. Right guys, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you found any of the assessments in this video valuable, please give it a like. And also subscribe to my channel so you never miss out on how to either improve your primal movement patterns or some of the great exercises you can do because you've now mastered them. All right, take care and I'll see you soon.